Hello YouTube, let's keep working on our little language here. So last time we made the interpreter, so now we can tokenize, parse and evaluate simple mathematical expressions, but that doesn't make a programming language. We also need something like states and statements. So that's what we're gonna look at this time. Okay, so here we make it to the new grammar of this language, or the new pieces of the grammar that we need to implement. And what we're going to do in this chapter is to allow us to create state. So we introduce the var keyword, and we want to produce output, so we introduce the print keyword. And now the new rules for the grammar is that program is a sequence of statements and then an end of the file. A statement is now either an expression statement, and we'll get to a little bit more what that is later, I guess, and then a print or a print statement. And the expression statement is simply an expression and then a semicolon. So right now expressions are mathematical things, and a print statement is print followed by an expression followed by a semicolon. Okay, so we are now defining a new type, statement type. So this will be very interesting. He writes here that there's no place in the grammar where both an expression and a statement are allowed, which is interesting. I mean, right now I don't really see exactly what he means by that, but we will make a new class called STMT, and it'll be similar to this expa. So let's try to make that. And as always, let's put it in here. And now we need to define it. So it will generate some code, and since I don't have, he wrote this like script to generate Java code, but since we don't do that, we should look at these classes here and see what we got. Right, so we use enums instead, and one version is the expression. The expression has an expression inside it, so we need to use create expa. I guess we can call it expression. And this visitor class, which we don't need. And then we should look at the print statement, and it will also have an expression inside it. Okay, I mean, this is basically reflecting these two rules in the grammar. So run the st, generate script, behold the resulting statement Java. The file with the syntax trees we need for expression and print. Okay. So now we need to fix up the parser. So right now, gonna zoom out a bit. Right now, parse returns an expression, but really it needs to return a list of statements. Yes, a list of statements. So let's do that. Okay, let's see how terrible this refactor will be. We will return a vector of statements, and we will do this. And then we'll say while. Does this have an is it end? This does indeed. So while we're not at the end, we will push a statement. And actually, let's do this as well. And then we will say, we'll try to get a statement. And the statement can either be an OK, in which case we push it, or it can be an error with a message. Then we push that into the and that way, like every line we should get all the error messages out, I hope. And then now, if there are no errors, then we can return statements. Otherwise, we will return the errors where we join them by a new line. So let's try to do this, and for this to even remotely work, we need a statement function, which should return just a single statement. Right, so let's fix up the main. Or rather, it's the interpreter we need to fix up. Or is it? Let me see. Okay, so first we pass here, which will give some statements. And then we should probably do like for statement and statements. And now I want to say match statement. And if it's a, what did we call it? If it's an expression, so we should also say use create statement and statement type. Perhaps would be a good place to use traits. And if it's anything else, we will just not do anything for now. Right. How do I discard this value? Maybe like this. Okay, that worked. Let's go back now. Yeah, we'll see how that pans out later. Okay, back in the parser. Okay, so we have this set up now. We pass. If there's an error, we push it to the error list. And if there's no errors, we just return the statements. And otherwise, we return the errors. Yeah, so we'll put better pass error handling in place. We just did that. Okay. So we need to say match token. If it matches the print token, then it is we return print statement. Otherwise, it's expression statement. Now let me see this match token that I'm not mistaken. So by the way, this one is not used. Let's remove that. Yeah, great. Match token. Okay, so that should be good. Let me go back to the statement, function. So now we need the print statement. And the expression statement. And let's see how, yeah, a little bare bones, he writes, but we'll fill in with more statements later. I don't know, it's becoming very involved. Maybe that's just what it's like when you make a programming language. We determine which specific statement rule is matched by looking at the current token. Sure. If the next token doesn't look like any known kind of token, we assume it must be an expression statement. Sure. So let's look at the print statement. So we try to get a value. We will, nice, we will consume a semicolon. And let me see if we defined it the same way. Yes. Okay. Nice error message. And finally, we will return a print statement with the expression being the value we found. So that is the correct name. See if that works more or less. It print statement. Okay, what now? It is called expression here. And It's because it thinks it's a token type. Right. So we'll do the error handling. And then we need to wrap it in an OK. Now there's some warnings. Really should fix that. Okay. Great, so that's the print statement. Since we already matched and consumed the print token itself, we don't need to do that here. We pass the subsequent expression. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Pass the expression. We want it to end with a semicolon. And then we return OK. And now this should be fairly straightforward. Again, we will consume a semicolon. And we will return a statement expression, the expression being expr, and there we go. Fix it, yes. Okay, similar to the previous method, we pass an expression followed by a semicolon. We're running through the previous couple of chapters in microcosm, working our way through the front end. Now, parser can now produce statements, statement syntax trees, so the next final step is to interpret them. As in expressions, we use the visitor pattern, but now we have a new visitor interface. Let's go back in the interpreter. So yeah, I'm thinking again, like maybe we need a trait here, but I'm not need to read up on traits. Okay. So to sort of emulate what he's doing for now, I will do like this, interpret statement. It will take a mutable self, sure. Statement, and it will return a result. It will return possibly nothing. Let's do it like that. And then we will match on the statement. If it is an expression, we will do this. Now, I don't think this will work again. It's not called evaluation, it's just called evaluate. But this doesn't do anything. So I'm a little bit confused, but okay. We evaluate the inner expression using the existing evaluate, and we discard the value exactly. Then we return null. Maybe this is so it can return any type. Could that be? Now this one, we will simply get the value. We will print it. And again, returns null. All right. So now we can interpret a statement, and I guess let's call it interpret. Let's call this interpret expression. Probably we'll delete that. So now we can just say for statement and statement, we will simply interpret that statement. And that should be good. Okay. Yeah, so we just did this. What is this execute method? It's just calling the visitor pattern. I mean, I guess it is like nicer if we do this. And then we go back here, we simply say interpret statements. That should be fine. Seems fine. And the main logs class is still trying to pass a single expression and pass it to the interpreter. We fixed the passing line. Sure. Sure. Okay. Let's try it out. So now if we do this, it won't do anything. But we can say print this. And okay, that's kind of cool. I think if we run like Python, then it will return the result, right? And basically it prints everything, but let's not worry about that. Okay. Wait. So we could get away with this. It didn't complain. And here he's saying it should complain. So we probably have something wrong in the parser. And I mean, it should be here for sure. So let's look in the consume. So let's just do this. So it gets that there's a missing token and should return an error, but the print statement is because we didn't do this. Okay. Now this should fail. Yes, exactly. Okay, fantastic. We need to actually use the error value. And probably that was one of the many errors that warnings that we ignored. Okay. So now we started to get this statements and state a little bit up and running. We have the print statement at least that's doing something. And I think we'll leave it there for now, because I want to look into maybe using traits a little bit, or at least restructuring it. So I'm gonna think a little bit if we can do this better. So I will see you next time.